All right, guys. Thank you for joining us. Today promoting and introducing or reintroducing our premier partner, Textellent. They have a very unique and patent pending text service product. Now, this opportunity would also increase your business, also promote your business. We have been working with them for the past couple of years. We already have clients that are currently using their services, and they're very happy and satisfied in how Textellent is able to promote and grow their business. With that said, I'm going to introduce to you Majid and Laura, that they're with Textellent, and they will be presenting the product today. And hopefully the ones who are on here will see the value in it and will be ready to join Textellent in their service. With that said, Majid, are you on?
Yes, thanks, Pedro, for getting us started. We will jump in here without any further ado, and Laura will help us get started with the agenda and introductory material.
Yeah, well, thank you all for joining, and we're really excited about this partnership that we have with Simple Tax, because it really offers a really tightly integrated service that will really leverage the investment you already have in their products. And we'll show you exactly how that works, but the focus is really on using texting to, boost your business, get your client retention rate up, and acquire new clients, and we're going to give you techniques for how we do that. So I'm the VP of Marketing here at Textellent. Majid is our founder and our CEO, and he has a unique perspective because not only has he been a computer scientist all his life, and that's how we know each other from working in the online marketing software world, but he also had a family business in the tax arena and had 3 tax practices. So he knows what it's like to be in your shoes, and he's going to talk a little bit about some of the challenges he saw in that role. And why this product came about. So let's talk about the agenda. We're going to discuss the business challenges that we see you face on every day and throughout the tax season. Why is texting becoming so popular? What do we mean by personalized texting? Because the type of texting we do is quite different than what you're doing with your friends and family. We're going to talk about techniques for boosting your retention and improving your customer service. We're going to talk about acquiring new clients, because that's on everybody's mind. And we're going to show you exactly how this works. And we're going to discuss a little bit about how tightly integrated it is with Simple Tax, because it's really easy to roll out. And like I said, leverage the data you're already collecting about your clients in their software. And we're going to discuss some case studies and make time for Q&A. So with that, let's go ahead and get started. And Majid, maybe you can tell them a little bit more about your background and what challenges were that you faced.
Fantastic. Thanks, Laura. Again, this is Majid Gadiali. I started the company in 2013, but about 6 years before that, me and my wife started a tax business. She is the accountant. I was her technical/marketing assistant, if you will. We ran the tax business. We had 3 locations in San Jose, California, and we ran it for 10 years. And about 4 or 5 years into that time, the question was
We're not hearing you at the moment.
Oh.
Did we lose your microphone?
Pedro, are you able to hear me or no?
Yeah, I hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, great, thanks. So the idea was we did a lot of things in different kinds of marketing. We did print, we did radio, we did visibility signage, phone calls, direct mail, lots of different things. But in 2010, 2011, when we saw iPhone becoming more commonplace and people started doing a lot of texting, the question came up as to how we can leverage this new channel. So we started trying out certain things about invitations, referral requests, and a few things over time. And we found that the response was way better than any other marketing we were doing. So over the years, it helped us cut down some of the expenses and of the other kind of channels and stay focused on the channels that were producing more results. And texting was the foremost #1 channel there. Long story short, fast forward 7 years now, 6.5, 7 years, we are serving hundreds of tax offices all over the nation in pretty much all states of the union, including Alaska and Hawaii. So we are very happy here that you took the time to join us. We will make it very action-packed. So on this slide here, I just wanted to share with you the common challenges that I saw in our own tax business and in my discussion with fellow tax professionals, we saw in their experiences. So number one, client retention rate. Average retention rate that we see is about 70%. How can we improve that to be more like 100%? And the key there is staying in touch with the clients year round. And then I'll talk about how that can be done in a way that is practical for you and effective for them. Acquiring new clients cost effectively. This is one of the top things that everybody talks about. And we all know that customer acquisition costs can be very high. The key here is to do it cost effectively. Referral rates. Typically, the average referral rate is about 16%. How can we make it more like 50 to 100%? And the fact of the matter is everybody who's doing taxes with you already knows other people who also need the same services in the same 3-month period. Lack of revenue in the off season. This was a big deal. Right now, I'm sure all of you are facing some tightness in cash flow. And by the time it's December, early January, it is usually the hardest. How can we address the lack of revenue issue in the off season? And the key to that is doing a better job in cross-selling other services. Many of us sell other kind of services, bookkeeping, payroll, insurance, etc. How can we do a better job in cross-selling those services so that we can address the lack of revenue in the off season? And last item is efficiency. Having a lot of clients is great, but if you're spending too much money in servicing them and not leaving money for you at the end, then what's the point? How can you improve your efficiency, cut down some of the payroll expenses, and utilize your staff in more revenue generating activities as opposed to more mundane follow-up kind of tasks? So keep in mind which of these items resonate to you. And during the course of this presentation, we will give you specific techniques on how to address them and turn them into revenue generating opportunities. So with that, we have a quick poll here. We would like to know what are your top priorities, and please check all that apply: acquiring new clients, boosting retention of current clients, cross-selling other services, or making it easier to manage appointments. Please check every answer that applies, and we will share that in about 30 seconds so everybody knows, and then accordingly we will adjust the rest of the presentation. We have about 50% of you already voted. We'll give it another 10 to 12 seconds. And we'll close the poll. All right, I'm going to close the poll in about 5 more seconds here. 80% of you have already voted, so that's good. All right, here we go. We're going to end the poll and share the results. Number one, priority was acquiring. 67% of you said acquiring new clients is number one priority. And followed by that, we had about 17% who said boosting retention, and another 17% said cross-selling other services. The last item about appointments was 0%. So with that in mind, we will go and dive in.
Okay, and we want to apologize for a moment. It looks like you could only select one of those choices, so we thought you could select as many as you wanted, but sorry about that. A little bit of a goof there. So I think we got most of your opinions here. So we will focus that way. Why is texting becoming so popular? Well, I don't think it surprises you to see people who are on their phones constantly, like you're seeing there. And it's because, you know, email is just not effective anymore. 90% of email apparently based on this report by Oracle is now considered spam. I'm sure you've experienced that in your own lives. Direct mail, 95% of it is considered spam. And of course, we all know the phone is rarely answered. So, you know, we need another way to communicate with customers. And texting is something that customers are expecting you to provide now. It's really changed in the last 18 months in particular. And it's becoming a really effective channel because only 1% is considered spam. 99% of texts are open and read within 90 seconds. And it's not uncommon at all to get a 30% response rate from your clients. So it really works. That's not to say you should eliminate email. You should continue to use other things, but it can really help reinforce things that you're trying to send through email as well. So it's now becoming the most effective channel out there, not only among friends and family, but among business clients as well. So let's go on to the next slide. So what do we mean by texting? So you've probably received messages like the one over on the left, which is very cryptic, comes from a phone number that's a 5 or 6 digit number. You don't recognize it at all. This is generated by a computer, not personalized at all. And a lot of times these types of messages that maybe sometimes you get from a retailer or other mechanisms are spam. You don't want those kind of messages to go out. What we're recommending, and there are some advantages there, and we'll talk about them, but we'll talk about that in a moment because it can help you generate leads. But what we're talking about is when you respond to your customers, you use a real telephone number. We either text enable your office number, or we get you a new number that's associated with your office that you can use for texting, and then people can text you back. They can call that number. You can have that number forwarded to your other office number if that's appropriate. But each of these messages have their client's name, they have your name, you might include a picture. They're very personal, relevant, conversational. That's the kind of texting we're talking about offering. And we're going to talk about how you can do a lot of these things in automated fashion. But to the client, they look like you sent each one individually. So it's a very powerful mechanism to use for customer service and so on. So let's continue to talk about that a little bit further.
Yeah, so as Laura mentioned, this is a very relationship-oriented, personalized channel. To your clients, it will feel as if you got a new number, a new cell phone to give them better service. So on top of that personalized communication, we add some very powerful automation. And so here, let's talk about those. Number one, we invite your last year's clients back according to the date they came last year. And this happens automatically. They can get a nice picture like this and they get a message. And this automatically goes out roughly about 3 weeks before they came last year, they get the invitation. In those invitations, we also allow them to book appointments. There could be a link like this where if they click on it, they see a web page which is mobile friendly, has your logo, your company name, your availability, and they can pick a time and book an appointment without calling you. Now they're going to get appointment reminders, maybe 2 days before the appointment, maybe morning of the appointment. In those text messages, also you can include things like, hey, remember to bring your W-2 and photo ID or any documents that you may want to mention there. And so now there is no risk of them forgetting about their appointment. Then next thing is, after the tax return is complete, they may get a thank you message asking them for referrals. Hey, Majid, my business depends on your referral. Please send me your friends and family. And that is extremely powerful because to them, it feels like it is being sent to them by you personally or by your team. And that has this emotional power. If you do a good job saving them a few $100 or a few $1,000s in taxes that happened yesterday or last week, now you turn around and ask them for help. It is in human nature to want to give you referrals. They may share that with their friends and family. And again, this can be repeated maybe 3 times, next day, next week, maybe 2 weeks later in different words. On the other hand, if the tax return was incomplete because they maybe forgot some documents, or maybe they came for price shopping or the refund amount shopping and they were not happy with that, so they walked away, they can get this automatic reminder saying, hey, come on back, let's finish your return, up to 3 times. Lastly, non-returning customers. Sometimes people get invitations and they still don't come. Maybe there is something in their mind, or maybe they were just distracted or too busy to book an appointment at that time. So sometimes, or maybe they were not unhappy from last year's experience for any reason. In those cases, you can send a win-back offer to those customers automatically and try to win them back. And in our own experience in running our tax business, this was one of the actually every single one that I described so far was very popular, including this. And this allowed us to recover some of the clients who were at risk of going elsewhere. And what ends up happening when you do this is they may turn around and text you back saying, is it for real, or you just, something that they can rely on or not? And so they would text us back and we would say, they would say, is it for real? And I would reply back saying, yeah, just show this message to the office manager and they will honor that discount. And the office managers would tell me that people came in and really took advantage of that. And keep in mind, this only goes to people who got all these invitations and still did not come. So you're not losing your margin. You're only giving special offers to people who would have gone elsewhere. I was telling in the introduction that we lose connection with our clients in the off season, and that's why sometimes the retention is not that high. Sending birthday greetings is a great and very effective way to stay in touch with your clients on their important date, and they would share that information. They would share the experience with their folks, their friends and family at their birthday parties, and the word of mouth referrals can go on from there. Promoting other services. Like I said earlier, many of you probably have other services. And so you could send out a text message to your client saying, hey, Majid, did you know I also offer bookkeeping and payroll? Text me back and I would be happy to give you a free consultation. This is a great way to generate off-season revenue. In fact, one of our clients is an insurance person, and literally we were at a show, I believe in Las Vegas a couple of years back. From the show floor, we sent out a text blast to his tax clients saying, hey, do you want a free quote for insurance? And literally, I mean, in front of my eyes, I saw 11 or 12 people texting back, and one of them said, hey, this is my car's VIN number, send me a quote. It's so effective. Year-round communication, holiday season is around the corner, and one of the things in our business is holidays are right before our busy time, and that's a great time for you to send out nice human-to-human holiday messages, and that can bring you top of mind before you ask for any business in January. And when you ask for business in January, you will see that the response is much better than if you don't send any holiday messages. Some of you might send holiday cards. You could continue to do so, or you could take some of that funds and do this kind of a text blast, maybe including an animated picture, and you will see the effectiveness of this is way better than anything else. And last item here, everything I shared with you so far, you already knew. There was nothing new there. You already knew that those were great ideas, but just doing them in the busy tax time is very, very hard. And so this is where Textellent, and especially working with Simple Tax, the integrated solution, can make a huge difference for you, because all of this can be done entirely automatically for you. And even though it is entirely automatically, it will appear to your clients and prospects as if you are taking the time to send these things personally. So by now, we have covered a lot of techniques which are mostly about boosting retention and improving your engagement with your current clients. On the next two slides, Laura will walk us through how you can use this amazing channel in getting new customers.
Well, and I want to point out too that you will get a lot of new customers from the referral program as well. I mean, we see people absolutely grow their business with this systematic way of asking for referrals in a really friendly fashion. And all of these things are triggered automatically by the data that's in your Simple Tax software, but we're not using any sensitive data at all. So I think that's important to know. And it's all encrypted. And then you also can customize these messages. What we do is we give you a series of templates, and you can turn them on and use them as is, or you can modify the messages to suit your purposes. You can put them in Spanish if that's appropriate, and you can put whatever images you want in here as well. So we've got a media library included, but you can again tailor these to make them sound exactly the way you want them to sound. So it's very powerful. So let's talk about another technique for acquiring new clients. I mentioned to you that these messages with shortcodes, we don't want you sending messages out using a shortcode, but a shortcode can be a really effective way to get people to text in to inquire about the services that you offer. So if you use postcards, if you use Facebook, if you do radio, podcasts of any kind, or posters in the mall even, you could certainly add some sort of message about please text, and we'll pretend the business is called Tax World here, please text Tax World to 87,000. And you'll get 10% off for first-time customers, or whatever the offer is you might want to make. You will be surprised how many people will actually text that in. And now they have opted in to get any messages from you, and you can now return that inquiry from a real telephone number. So it's very personal, and you can say, hi, I'm Laura from Tax World. We're happy to give you 10% off of your first return. Now, you don't know their name at this point, so we encourage people to ask the name, and almost everybody will give you their name, give you their email if that's appropriate, and you can then start a relationship with them and try to book an appointment with them. So it's called a short code. And it's an excellent way to get people to text into you to learn more about your practice and to be able to sign them up. Now, the whole idea with this kind of approach is to get them to engage with you or your office manager, whoever's going to return those messages. But if for some reason they don't, let's say they did it because they were at the mall, they were busy shopping, you know, they're gone on a vacation the next day, whatever it might be, you can send them a series of nurturing messages. We call this a drip campaign. It's something that people often do with email campaigns as well, but we're now doing it with texting. And what you can do is sort of say, hey, you know, thanks for your interest. You know, here's some points about our particular practice. Here's some things that we help people with. You might even send out a little brochure if you have one about, you know, top 10 reasons people work with you. You might offer a free consultation. So you can kind of send these out, you know, as appropriate to kind of just keep them in the loop and try to get them in when it comes to tax season. So it's an excellent way to really grow your business, in addition to, like I said, these referral campaigns that we were talking about.
Fantastic. So now we've covered the concepts, how to improve your engagement, your retention, as well as how to get new clients, how to get referrals. Let's take a quick look at how the service itself looks. Now, in the interest of time, this is not a full-fledged training session, but rather a quick introductory session. So there are three kinds of texting that the system supports. So one is the rule-driven automated texting. We just talked about this already. So for example, sending out invitations to your last year's clients. So that's called PY client reminder. And you can have 21 days before they came last year, they get the first invitation. Like Laura mentioned, you can change the picture, you can upload your picture, your flyers, you can change the message, you can change the timing. It's entirely within your control. And then if they don't come after the first invitation, a second message goes out 10 days before they came in last year. And maybe the second message, you don't include a picture. So kind of mix and match. On the other hand, let's say as a result of this, they came in and completed the tax return. In that case, this campaign, the PY client reminder campaign stops and the referral request campaign starts automatically. They get a thank you message 1 day after they completed the tax return. And then maybe another message you can turn on, maybe 5 days later, they can get a second message saying, hey, send me your friends and family. Some of you might be giving $20, $25 discounts or referral bonus for bringing new customers. You can mention those there. In our tax business, we would give out $50 cash for everybody who brought in a new customer. And we would put a picture of $50 bill here. That was very, very powerful. On the other hand, now I had mentioned if they forgot some documents, and so automatically we can send them reminders saying, hey, come on back, let's finish the return. We have appointment reminder campaign, which reminds people ahead of their appointments. We have missed appointment alert campaign, which sends guilt messages if they miss the appointment and ask them to book another appointment, because you know, we all know whether you remind or not, some people will still miss their appointment. So there's a way to recover them. And then we have completed appointment follow-up, which can be sent out after an appointment was completed and do a follow-up or thank you message. So these are called rule-driven automated campaigns. These are triggered by the tax return status inside your Simple tax software. Okay, so you don't have to do extra work. This can be done automatically. You set them once and forget them, and every day they happen for you entirely automatically. This is one of three ways we support texting. The second way of texting that we support is what we call as one-to-one texting. We have this dialog screen. In fact, you were seeing some of those pop-ups appearing in the middle of the conversation here. Those were incoming message kind of reminders or notifications. So for example, you could see the whole back and forth conversation. You could, even in some cases, sometimes people forget of a document. You can say, hey, take a picture of your kid's school ID that you forgot and text it to me. You don't have to come back here. And people love the convenience of that. So this is a full-fledged back and forth conversation ability that you have here. Okay, and it maintains the full history. You can also have predefined answers to commonly asked questions because we all have some very frequently asked questions in the tax season, and every second counts because we know it's very busy. And so I can, on a click of a button, I can send this. I can even add pictures, or I can have pictures in my predefined messages. And also, we track the delivery status, one of the very key differentiators of our service. And Pedro, you have mentioned at the beginning of the conversation, we were patent pending when we started working together. We were awarded the patent about a year and a half ago. So it's a very unique service which has been awarded a US patent because of its novel use of this medium for the tax professionals. So part of that is we also report back to you what happened, whether the message was delivered or the phone number was invalid or a landline. In this case, for example, I know for a fact the message was delivered. This is very, very powerful. Okay, you also are able to categorize your customers. You can add what we call as a customer tag. So for example, you can add a tag saying, these are my payroll customers, or these are my prospects from a particular show, or these are my bookkeeping customers, or these are my tax customers. And then you can send a special campaign to them according to whichever way you categorize them. So this is second of the 3 ways of texting that I was describing. This is one-to-one texting, and you can have unlimited use of this. The third texting is what we call as where we create my campaigns, and text blast is one of the ways where you can send a mass text to your entire list. Even then, that will appear as if you sent it personally. So I'll give you just one example. In fact, I'm sharing our corporate account. We use this technology to provide customer service to our own clients. Right now, we're sending this nice Halloween message to the leads and offering the idea that you may want to send out a nice happy Halloween to your prospects and to your clients. And you know that those kind of things really improve your engagement and turn people who are maybe half interested to ready and take action and buy services from you. So this kind of campaign is called Text Blast. It's going to lots of people at the same time. However, each one of them will appear as if it was sent to them personally. And of course, if they reply back, the reply will come in the dialog screen, and now you can have the conversation back and forth. The last item here is a drip campaign. Laura was mentioning in her example about sending nurturing messages, a series of nurturing messages. So we can have, this goes out one day after they opted in, maybe another message goes out 7 days later with a special offer, etc. And all of this happens entirely automatically while you take care of your business. The system will continuously nurture your leads, and when they're ready to take action and they reply back, now you can spend time with them and try to close the sale. So these are the 3 different ways of texting that is part of the service. And like I said earlier, some of this is triggered directly by your tax return status in your tax software. Last item in the demo we'll quickly touch upon is we have a full-fledged, highly robust appointment scheduling and appointment booking service. So you see a nice calendar. For example, this kind of a calendar we use to track our clients' activation calls. You also have the ability to synchronize that calendar. Let's say you use Google Calendar or Apple iCloud or Microsoft Outlook. As soon as somebody books an appointment, this will show up on your calendars automatically because we have full synchronization. Also, as part of the service is what you get is here you can see people love this, right? I mean, I just got a nice good looking emoji from somebody. So people love this conversation. You get a booking page, something like this, bookmeatime.com/your business name. You can embed that in your website, and you can tell people, hey, go to my website and book an appointment with me. And that page will only show them available times. And this is a mobile friendly page. We already showed you how it looks on the phone. It looks very simple to use. And so that is part of the appointments add-on. Now, in the interest of time, going back, and plus we support multiple languages. So you could also have a link that you can give to people who speak Spanish, and so they can take a look at this. The same appointment screen, but now it is in Spanish. And if they book an appointment, they get, you see this in Spanish language, they'll show up in the same calendar. So no double booking will be allowed also. Okay. There's a lot more to cover here, but I just wanted to touch on the salient points. We will go back to the presentation. Remember, I was telling you that all of this is, all of the automated campaigns are triggered by the tax return status in your tax software. So those of our clients who work with us directly, they have to upload their client list on a nightly basis during the tax season. It takes about 2 or 3 minutes. It doesn't take much, but 2 or 3 minutes on top of already a 14 to 16 hour day, that makes a difference. So here comes a biggest advantage working with Textellent through SimpleTax, is because your SimpleTax 1040 product, those of you who are using the SimpleTax 1040 product, you don't have to even do the upload, because every night your client list will come to us automatically, courtesy of Pedro and his great team. And the system automatically knows who has come, so we can send them a referral request. Who has not come, so we should send them invitation. Who has come but has not completed the tax return, so we can remind them about missing paperwork. All of that will happen entirely automatically. You don't have to lift a finger. I mean, that's so awesome, because every day you get the most benefit from the Textellent has to offer without adding additional work. Okay. And again, like Laura said, none of this includes any sensitive information. We don't touch social or financial information at all. We just need their tax return status and the date, so we can continue these campaigns for you.
So let's talk a little bit about how this is all happening in the background for you. Majid described all these campaigns that will really help you get your clients back in the door, increase your retention, generate referrals, etc. So these are all, color coded here on the right-hand side. Remember, we mentioned that it was not uncommon at all to get 30% kind of response rates. So you can see the green line is incoming texts. And so you're getting a really good response rate from all these different messages that are going out automatically every day, while you're busy helping clients and focusing on billable hours and not having to focus on this sort of thing. And then the red line is actually incoming calls. So if a client has a question, they can easily call you as well. But the nice thing is that you start to get more responses in terms of texts rather than calls, which of course, we all know calls take a lot of time in the office, and it's sometimes, they're lengthier calls than you would like them to be when it's a simple item that they're communicating with you about. So this is a report that we give you on a regular basis. You can see what campaigns are working for you, and it's just a really powerful way to demonstrate how much of this is going on automatically for you in the background. So this is the power. So let's talk about a case study. And this is not an uncommon situation. So we have lots of clients that are having these same experiences. In this particular client's case, she'd had a practice for about 18 years. It was a two-person office. And they have appointments. Not everybody uses appointments, that we realize. So this is something we offer as an option, as Majid was pointing out. But in her case, the very first year she tried the appointment capability and these texting campaigns, she decided to send out an invitation to make appointments in December, well before tax season. And she got 85 appointments in the first couple of days that she sent that blast. She was thrilled. And this really cuts down on your no-show rates, because now the reminders are automatically set up to go out, and you can have multiple reminders, as I think Majid pointed out. So this really made a big impact in terms of her business, and getting she could see where her cash flow was by just the when people had booked appointments. She also sends all of her clients referral requests. And she had so many responses to this that she actually had to turn off the referral feature. And we've had several clients tell us that. And that's a really powerful notion that, she just couldn't keep up with the business, and she wasn't ready to hire more tax preparers. So it's really up to you, how effective this can be and how much you want to leverage it. She also takes advantage of sending out various tax bulletins. She's been very creative about sending out messages about potential tax fraud schemes that are popular at the moment, to warn her clients about them. She worked with us actually to send out an Equifax tax breach when that happened 2 years ago, so that many of our clients actually did that. And every time she does one of those informational text blasts, people forward it to their friends, and that generates referrals for her too. So it's a very powerful idea. And now her client retention rate is over 95%. And even though she had been in business for 18 years, in the last 3 years, she has grown her practice by 30%. So it's just a really powerful tool. And again, all of this is happening in the background for her automatically. So this is just one example, and you too can benefit from these kinds of techniques. So let's talk about appointment results in general across our client base. So those who are using the appointment setting capability, on average in their practice, were able to set up 268 appointments this way. They were able to send out 486 reminders, again, all automatically. They estimated they saved about 45 hours per practice in just the time that it would have otherwise taken to make those phone calls, to remind people about their appointments, or to set up their appointments, or remind them what to bring in, etc. That estimated with the reminders, they saved about 32 hours. So what's that, 77 hours overall. And with the average return generating about $200, each one generated about $53,000 through these mechanisms. And the payroll they saved was about $1,200. And that's figured at about $12 an hour. So it's really has an impact not only in, your staff, and maybe you don't have to hire as many part-time staffers to help you out here, but it also can generate revenue and, get the focus on billable hours.
Great. So that is the average, on average, what folks see in terms of benefits from the appointment module. Now, how about the base marketing package with those automated campaigns of birthday, asking for invitations, asking for referrals, etc. So what we did was we took average across our entire client base and then divided them by practice size. So see where you fall in terms of number of tax returns. So if you are between 200 and 500 tax returns, you can, this is what we generated for the clients who are in this size. Close to 1,000 text messages were sent. Each was timely, personalized, and relevant, making them feel special, that they are getting special attention from you. This would have taken you half of an employee working like a robot just to do the work, and this much in payroll savings alone. And we already know that there's more training and absenteeism and mistakes and all of that can happen when employees and the human beings do the work, but this can be done entirely automatically. And then look at the engagement rate. So many people called and texted back. So about a third of your customers will actively engage with this channel because they really appreciate the convenience of texting. These are the results for an office in this range. Now, if you are slightly bigger, 500 to 1,000 customers, take a look at these numbers. Still, they just are staggering. And if you are running a big office between 1,000 to 2,000 customers, you will save one full-time employee and really put them on something more revenue generating. And we have results for if your office is more than 2,000 customers, you can let us know. We can show you the results. That is the power of this channel that you can generate and put to use. Because of this powerful automation, it can start generating results for you next day.
So I'm sure you're all wondering, what does it cost? The way we price the product is based on the number of offices you have and the number of clients. So the best way to get the answer to that is, you see the telephone number in the upper right-hand corner here. If you text to that number, the number of clients you have, don't use the quotation marks, just put the number of clients you have, you will automatically get a quote for your particular practice. So it's really easy. We also, of course, have this on our website at www.textellent.com. But anyway, the components of our pricing, you can pay, most of our clients pay yearly. Because you do get a 15% discount when you do that, but you can also pay monthly. And the monthly amount is a little higher during tax season than it is the rest of the year, which probably makes sense to you. We also have a couple of options because we know not everybody has appointments. So some people do drop-in business. So we do sell the calendaring capability that Majid pointed out separately. And if you want to take advantage of the lead generation approach that we were talking about, using a short code and using a keyword that's associated with your office's name, your practice's name, we charge separately for that. It's very modest and it's well worth it, but that not everybody, of course, is going to do that. So it depends on what kind of advertising campaigns you have. All of the messages that are generated from the automated campaigns and any of the responses, any phone calls that you get, all of that is included in the price. The only time we charge you extra is if you're going to do a specific text blast to your entire group, or maybe you want to just text your payroll clients or just text your bookkeeping clients. If you're doing text blast, we charge a modest amount for that, for those messages, and the drip campaign messages as well. So the majority of our clients do, maybe a text blast once a quarter, so it's a very inexpensive thing to do. And then we have a one-time activation fee, small one-time to get you started, to get your phone number, text enabled, etc. And then again, you can get the exact pricing by just texting that number, and we'll keep that number on the next slide as well. We'll give you just an example of what, you know, some different office sizes would pay. And I won't read these to you, but you can sort of check your tier. But if you have 200 clients, you're paying about $408 a year. If you want the appointment capability, that's only $300 a year. And we talked about how many hours you're going to save through the various campaigns as well as through scheduling. So it easily pays for itself. And you can see what it would be if you had 500 clients or if you had 1,000 clients. It scales up. And then you can also see what the monthly rates would be roughly.
Yeah, so I invite everybody to take out your cell phones and text your client count to 510-817-2540. So if you have, let's say, 233 customers, you're not going to go into this tier. This is not a break point here, but you will have a specific price for 233 customers. Exactly. And typically what happens is you may have more customers than you have phone numbers for. So if you don't have phone numbers for, let's say, 20, 30, or 50 of them, after we upload your client list, we will know the exact count and we will reduce your price to reflect the actual count. So take advantage of this option of texting your client count. If, let's say, you have 243 customers, just text 243 to 510-817-2540 and get your price quote right now.
Okay. And by the way, right after this, we're going to get some time for Q&A because I know some of you have some questions. So we do have a special offer today, and that is that we will provide you with a 30-day free trial. So you can try some of these things out. Like Majid mentioned, you might want to send a Halloween message or a Thanksgiving message, or maybe even a text blast about, some new tax change that has occurred, or maybe a possible tax fraud that people should be worried about. So those are great things to start with. And we offer you a free text blast to your first 1,000 clients. So that's a really valuable offer, and we urge you to take advantage of it, to introduce your clients to this kind of service. So you can sign up by going to www.textellent.com, and the only requirement to get this offer is to activate your account by the 25th and to schedule that blast. And these activation calls basically take 45 minutes, and you'll be up and running. You can, be on that call with a staff member, for example, and you're ready to go. And you'll start to see results right away. You can turn on those birthday greetings and start to make people feel good about the fact that you're thinking of them personally. So go ahead and get that started and keep that in mind. And then now let's provide a little bit of time for Q&A. And we'll put up here if you need to reach us, if you've got any specific questions that we don't get answered today, feel free to reach out to us. We're happy to help. And you're happy to text us as well. We eat our own dog food, so you're welcome to reach out to us in that manner. So a couple questions here are, how do I know if I have cell phones for my clients?
A great question. In the US, the format for cell phones is the same as the format for landlines. So it's, even though somebody might have put in your tax preparer, or you yourself might have put in a number in the cell phone field, you don't know if it is actually a cell phone, or if you put that number in a home phone number field, that may still be a cell phone, you don't know. In fact, I never put in my home number anywhere. Whenever I put a number, it's my cell phone. So the way this works is that if you have, let's say, one phone number for home, one phone number for mobile, one for work on the tax return, what we do is we automatically, whenever we text them an invitation or referral request, for example, we text every single number that is on the tax return at the same time. We don't charge you extra for that. We consider that one customer as the count of one for pricing purposes, but we text every single number, and then we'll report back to you which one was delivered versus which one was a landline or was an invalid number. So the system will help you clean up your list and improve the quality over time. So nobody has 100% cell phone coverage to begin with. And if you feel you need to get more coverage, don't feel that way. Start with the phone number list that you have, and using the service, you will improve the list quality over time. And still, with whatever list you have, you will see enough of the results to pay for the service multiple times over.
Okay. Another question is, how do I introduce texting to my customers? I don't want them to get these messages out of the blue.
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, sometimes what we like to do is, first of all, we don't like to use the texting for business purposes right away. So the best way to start is sending a holiday message, maybe sending out a birthday greeting on their specific birthday. Keep it very human to human and simple. Also, we provide you language that you can add to your client intake sheet. That's the legal opt-in language, so that you can add that into your client intake sheet, which I'm sure you already have something that they fill out and sign at the bottom. So they can add that, you can add the language there. Another way you could do is send out an email blast. This is where, I mean, we are marketing people. We know marketing is multi-channel. And we like, I mean, even though email is far less effective than texting, we like to use both. So send out an email blast to your clients saying, hey, I'm going to roll out a new way to communicate and provide you better service. And this is how you can opt in or opt out. So there are ways to do this, but the easiest thing is to take advantage of the free trial and start out with a nice non-business related birthday greeting or holiday message. And then the response from your clients will itself show you that they really welcome this channel.
Yeah, so the next question is, how do you support multiple languages?
Great question. In fact, I should have mentioned Spanish language is a big deal for our service. So we have these examples that we showed you. We have very well crafted Spanish language examples for each of those examples as well. The service supports Spanish language, all the special characters. We also have some pictures that have Spanish language in them. We also have client success team members who speak Spanish. So when you need help, you can call in and say, hey, I prefer Spanish. Can I talk to somebody who does? And we do have people who will do that for you. So there are multiple ways.
They were asking about other languages too. You can certainly craft your messages in French or German or, you know, any of those languages, Latin-based languages.
Exactly right. Yeah. So the service can support any language, Spanish or others. And you are able to put your own messages and the service will be able to deliver them with all the special characters properly.
Okay. I think that's about all the questions we have right now. Pedro, do you guys have any questions on your end? Did you get any?
I do have a few. Let me go ahead. Majid, when you started the presentation, you had stated that in the last 18 months, the texting format has changed. Can you elaborate for our clients? Because some of us, and you and I had this conversation, have the notion that texting is texting. And you touched on this when we had conversation in the past, but I just want our customers to get a better grasp of what you meant by that.
Yes. Thanks for that question. We have been, as I mentioned in the introduction, we've been doing this for 6-7 years now. And I've been saying it from the beginning that just like phone call conversations, for example, before, those of you who are old enough and you remember websites becoming common, but even before that, when phones were new, businesses did not have it. The advanced or more forward-looking businesses jumped on it and added that as a communication channel. When the emails came out, you added emails. And when websites came out, you added websites, but some other businesses did not have them. And so that was acceptable at that point. But over time, those channels became so commonplace that now if you have a business, but you don't have a phone or a website, then people don't feel very good about that. Texting is getting there. Business texting especially is now becoming so commonplace that more and more businesses, their consumers, their customers are going to demand, hey, just allow me to text you for any communication that I need to do with you. So it's becoming commonplace now. I was checking in at Las Vegas Resort last year when I was at a show, and I got a text message saying, hey, you can check in or check out without standing in the long line by using texting. So there are mainstream businesses are now using texting for providing customer service. That has been a big shift in the last 18 months or so, where texting is becoming more mainstream for all business purposes. So if you don't have it now, very soon your customers will kind of start demanding that you provide it for them. The other thing that is happening in the field of texting that is yet to come is more dynamic nature. So most of the text messaging we see is basically 160 characters of text, maybe a picture, maybe a link, But very soon in the future, you will be able to send more dynamic looking, similar to WhatsApp or other kind of chat messages. Those kind of dynamic interactions will be supported on texting. And of course, when they become available, those things are not available right now. But when the industry gets there, we'll be the first ones to make it available to you as well.
Another question I saw was, you know, how do people respond to messages when they're out of the office? Maybe
Oh, yeah, that's a great question as well. And in fact, in the tax industry, it's a big deal. You're not in your office all the time, especially in the off season, you're not in your office from May through December. And during that time, if somebody texts you or somebody emails you, you know, then they may not get a response for hours, which is a problem. In our unique patented approach, and we have a US patent number here showing at the bottom, we have the ability to get those text messages forwarded to your mobile device, your cell phone, and you can reply back naturally without needing to install any apps on your phone, just like you're texting. You can reply back from your cell phone while being on the go without revealing your own private cell phone number. So that is great for your privacy, but your private cell phone number is not made available to them. And also, it allows you to stay in touch with your clients. And sometimes, especially if it's the prospect, if you reply back saying, hey, I got your question, I'll be in touch with you tomorrow morning when I'm in the office, that's hugely better than them not hearing anything back from you for several hours. And then you respond back with full answers next day, because, you know, they might go and look for another option. So our technology allows you to stay in touch with your clients, even when you're on the go, not in the office, and still protects your privacy. And that is the best recipe for improving your lead conversion rate and your customer service and customer engagement.
Great. Pedro, did you have some additional questions too?
I just had one more basically, or maybe a couple more. One of the things when you were giving the demonstration, and that, for example, the later clients that may have not came in when anticipated according to the events of the prior year, say they usually come in by February 10th, and here it is March 1st, and you had like a 25% off coupon. Just wanted to have clarity here to say that 25% what you showed was just an example right there, right? So therefore, if someone say, well, I want to give $20 off or $25 off or something like that, that can be changed to fit the customer's needs. Is that correct?
That is exactly correct. Yes, you get to control, you can update your discount amount, or maybe give no discount and just say, hey, we miss you, what happened? This was just an example. You can add a picture of 20% discount coupon, or just have a text message saying, hey, we will give you $20 discount. And the key there is, if these are the people who usually come to you by February 20th or so, and already it is now March 10th or so, you know they're already at risk if they have not already gone elsewhere. At this time, there is no downside of giving them a special offer and try to win them back. So we recommend doing that. But you do control whether you, first of all, you can turn off that campaign entirely, or you can also convert that campaign into just saying, hey, we missed you, what happened, why haven't you come yet, without giving any discounts. Or you can give a discount with a picture, with a text message. So you get to control completely. And secondly, something I wanted to mention also is, we talk about all these options, and some of you may be feeling, oh my God, this is too technical and I don't know if I can handle all that. Well, the good news is you don't have to be technically savvy at all. We expect you to be good at taxes. We are your technical assistant. So you call us and our team is standing by. They can show you how to change those things. And by the time you hang up the phone, you are fully done and up and running. And then once you set it up, like we said earlier, everything else is then automatic from then on, thanks to the integration we have with Simple Tax. So you don't have to feel like you need to be technically good to understand all these bells and whistles. We are standing by, and yet you are fully in control.
So let your imagination go wild.
Exactly. Couple more, and then I'll be done with, as far as, just because I was following along, I was paying attention to the presentation holiday cards. Obviously, I know even for us as a company, we're still with the old school where we would send out or take time out to do a Christmas cards and basically time of year. Also, not only as appreciation, wishing well holidays, happy holidays to a client, but also give them the notion that, hey, we're, tax season around the corner. We'll see you at the first of the year. Where this right here is so automated, so quick that is, it just be a click and the clients will receive a holiday greeting card. And that also is a template. I know you guys probably have templates as well back there, but the client, us as customers, can have the flexibility to cater and upload pictures on the back end to text out to our clients, and it also could be more personable.
Absolutely. And a lot of people pay for the service just based on the money they spend on holiday cards and postage. So it's a great way, and it probably gets more noticed than even a physical card. So Majid's pulling up some examples, I think, of just some Halloween examples here.
That's exactly right. Yeah,
really enjoy these things.
People love this, right? And one more thing you can do in texting that you cannot do on a holiday card, and nothing against it. If you want to continue doing it, do that, but add this as well. You can also have animation. I mean, when we did a 4th of July, we could show fireworks going and animation on their phone. They love this. That's one thing. So far more effective. People immediately respond back, it's working very well. But also sending out a holiday, let's say you have a couple of hundred clients, sending out a holiday card is a project that can take easily 4, 5, 6 hours, printing everybody's labels and sticking them and getting all this thing ready, dropping off at the post office, all of that. Not only is expensive, it's usually roughly about $1 per holiday card when everything is said and done. And it takes, big amount of time, for 6 or 7 hours to get the project done. This takes, like Pedro, you mentioned, within all of 5 minutes for me to set up a holiday greeting like this. And this starts going out almost instantaneously. And so it is much less expensive. And plus the cost of sending out this is, like Laura was saying that this is the only thing you pay extra for it. You get unlimited use of the campaigns and back and forth texting. And only when you send out a blast, you pay extra, only 5.9 cents. So if you have 1,000 customers sending out a nice animating holiday card, $59 just to send it out. Compare that with sending maybe a holiday cards by mail, which will be easily $1,000 or more. And that can take only 5 minutes to send out.
Yeah, and I would have to chime in what you just said, Majid, because I've done it. I've had my daughters helping me send out cards. I have one label, stamp, sign, whatever. It was like a little production line, passing it down until we got it stacked up. So I know exactly what you're talking about. Been there, done that, hopefully. Yes, exactly. That's pretty much it as far as reminding anybody out that on the call. Does anybody have any other questions?
I think Rod wanted to say a few words at the end here, if we can enable him to unmute him. Is there a way to do that?
You put me on the spot, Laura. I don't know. I'm pretty techie, but I don't know how to figure that out real quick here. Let's see. I'll see if I can. Maybe 1 second.
Well, we certainly appreciate everybody joining us, and hopefully we did answer all your questions. And if you have more, feel free to reach out to us with those, pieces of information we gave you earlier. And by all means, find out what the quote would be for your office. We really, hope that you'll consider taking advantage of this, because it's really about growing your practice. I mean, these are practical tips. They're easy to implement, but they really are about bringing in new clients, helping you retain the clients that you already have, and providing really excellent customer service that will set you apart from others in your field. So we're here to help you. And obviously.
And Laura, just real quick, sorry, I was able to figure out how to enable Rod. So Rod, if you are able to unmute yourself, you can actually say a few words.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Do I sound okay? Hey guys, how you doing? I just want to thank you guys for having this conversation. Simple Tax, we're very excited for our clients and also for ourselves on this venture and this journey that we're about to take. And I highly suggest, one of the things that Simple Tax builds itself on from year to year over the past 10 years is its innovation and technology and being the first in the market to do things and make things happen. This is just yet another example of us coming out innovatively with IntelliText. They're awesome, guys. We're going to use them. We recommend that you guys use them. We're going to do this again and again until we just blast you guys with this concept, because at the end of the day, most of the tax clients, there are a lot of old school. I mean, most of you guys just started upgrading your laptops a couple of years ago. So now it's time to upgrade to the texting world and the cell phone world. So let us just try to utilize every bit of technology, increase our business, grow our business, or even just maintain that business, and let us know whatever you guys need in order to help you guys get to where you want to be with your business. That's all I wanted to say, guys. We're looking forward to working with this company.
Thank you so much, you all. And we'll let you know that there's a recording for this if you want to pass it on to your colleagues, and we'll hope to hear from you soon.
Thanks, guys.